one. Here we are, another state of the market. Thank you, Mr. Tim Sisson, for joining us.
Thanks
I'm
for
doing it
having me,
outside
Bill.
today, so I'm going to fade in and out of color a little bit, but I'm not giving in because the weather is so awesome that it's probably better that I sit outside and enjoy it than you see my face. And I'm just sacrificing that. That's just part of the deal today.
I'm cooped up in an office that doesn't even have a window, so you're better off.
So way back in the day, in my teacher days, I used to be in a teacher or a classroom just like yours, and we would draw a picture of a window with the sunshine, and we'd have it in the back of the room.
I need to do that, honestly. I don't know if it's daytime, nighttime, raining, sunny. I have no idea.
Yeah, you just draw you whatever you want it to be. Like you have a few of them sitting on by your desk and just put up, all right, today it's going to be rainy. Today it's going to be sunny. Today it's going to be a beach day. Just have some people do it that way.
Well, luckily I have a Zoom call with you to know that it is beautiful outside because it looks
is nice. It's a typical fall where like in the morning it's pretty cold. Like I got up and went for my usual run, did that kind of stuff, and it was a little nippy. But then when it hits about 2:30 noon to 2:30 to 3, it's fine, and then by 4 or 5, chilly again.
Yeah. Now's the time where I should probably go play golf or do something that normal people do. But and this is a good little segue, that we are just so busy right now. Everything
Yeah.
is
So the busy part. Right? So and in fall and November, we talked about it a little bit this before I hit the record button. So the fall and November, we start getting election season. We start getting holidays. It traditionally slows down a tiny bit. You're still doing a ton of refis, but do you think it's going to slow a little bit down?
I do. I would say I already feel it with the purchase business, the activity, people coming to me to get pre-qualified. It's not as heavy as it's been the last few months. It's still solid, and there's still enough buyer activity out there that if you wanted to list your house, you wouldn't have any problem selling it, of course, because there's still an inventory shortage. But just the overall activity, that meter to me has slowed down a little bit. Now, as a lender, you don't feel it in this market much because, like you said, we have all this refinance business that we're just trying to get through. I mean, it's a struggle to get through as inquiries as we're getting, but the purchase business, like you said, it starts to slow down a little bit. People are focusing on their kids' school. I know you can relate to that, the virtual learning stuff. And then you have the holidays around the corner. And I do think people want to get back to normal. They want to feel normal Thanksgiving and Christmas, that type season. So they're going to really focus on the home front, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's probably the same way. Plus elections, and I don't care, and we're not talking politics, but people get really heated and they get really inner focused, right? And they kind of stop going out and about. It seems really weird, but it's kind of like people panicky-ish, I guess, when it comes to election time. You get a little nervous. So they kind of just put everything on hold and see how things play out before they get back out there and start doing things again. It seems.
I do agree with that. I think there's going to be focus on this election in particular, and how it's going to affect. There might be a little blip for 7 to 10 days for interest rates just because of the uncertainty of what's going to happen in this election, and then it's going to go right back to normal. That's what I continue to read and what I'm hearing. There's going to be brief volatility. That's a good sort of analogy for what happened in the market, where there's this brief moment of just pause. What's going to happen? Let's get through it. And then 10 days later, somebody's going to be in office and it's all going to be behind us.
Do you hold on some of your loans and dates and stuff to kind of accommodate for that?
Yes. So I urge anyone who wants to purchase, refinance, whatever, I urge them to lock in as possible as to not have any negative effects. Now, when we're close to it, I then might urge them to float, which means not lock in until after that brief period of volatility. But I also follow a lot of experts. So it's really whatever they suggest. They're prognosticators. I just need to make sure that I'm continuing to read each day as this election gets closer.
Yeah, it's not easy. It certainly isn't. And uncertainty and people panic, and we're here to kind of reassure them and make sure that we tell them, we got you. It's fine. We accommodate for these things. It's not going to be crazy. Rates aren't going to jump to like 10% overnight. None of that stuff's going to happen. It's going to be fine. We just got to plan a little bit, right?
Yeah. Everyone seems to be bullish on housing through 2021. Cool. They're bullish on interest rates through 2021. It may be Q3, Q4 of next year where you might see a little bit of a change. But that gives a lot of people time that if you're on the fence, if you're a first-time home buyer, if you need credit advice, whatever, it gives you a little bit of time to not be panicked, to make that right decision and do it the right way. So that's another indication that, you know, Billy and we've given our cell phone numbers and our websites and our email addresses on these calls many, many times. Reach out, especially if we're saying that November and December and January are getting slower.
Yeah.
That allows us more time to focus on the people who are in the planning stages.
Another thought too, to put this out there, we are currently doing some people that are thinking about January, February, March type listings. And now's the time that we send our photo guy out there to do the video and photos of the beautiful foliage, right? You want your house to be as beautiful as possible. And now's the time to do it. So even if you're like, I'm not ready till March, you take pictures in March, it'll be like that sludge everywhere and it's going to be like dead and it's awful. Get a hold of us now. We'll help you out. We'll plan. We're here to help you plan everything. We want to make sure things go smoothly, and we don't go smoothly by just all of a sudden saying, all right, let's list our house. Where's your credit? It's by like now. All right, I'm February, March. Great. What do things look like right for you right now? What kind of things are we trying to get into? What kind of houses do you want to do? Are you trying to sell? Great. Here's where things are. We're planners, and that's what we really do for people.
Yeah, and if you do start to cross off little items off that checklist early, when you get to the point where you're looking to then put the house on the market or find a house and that kind of thing, it's going to be a lot less stressful because you've already done a few of the first few steps. And that's what Billy and I can allow you to do is first of all, tell you what items can be done now, and then what we need to do through that winter season, that holiday season, to be ready next spring, to make it easier on you. You know, if we can eliminate some of the stress and bear that, that's kind of what we're here for.
It's it. That's exactly what we do. And I'm going to tell you this as well. With how crazy the market has been, there's not a whole lot of landlords that still own their houses. Like there was a lot of landlords that had this opportunity to dump their product. So if you're going to think you're going to just find a rental or something off the cuff, or I'll just find it, you're not. It's going to be harder than you think. There's not going to be a lot of rentals, and the prices are going to go up. And those landlords, start getting even more picky. You need to have higher credits or big income or double deposits. Like it's going to start getting a little tougher for folks, I think. So don't bank on like snagging that rental last minute or waiting for 2 weeks before and saying I can just go grab a rental. That's in our area. That's just not going to happen.
That's a great point. So allow the lack of inventory to be offset by the excitement of low interest rates, right? So if the affordability for purchasing has never been better with low interest rates, the affordability of rent has never been higher because of the lack of inventory for rentals too. So, and reach out to us and we'll get you prepared for next spring.
Yeah. So if you have like 3 or 4 months left on that lease, now's your time. Start planning. Start coming up with an idea, because if you wait 3 or 4 months and you have a 3 or 4 month lease, you could be in trouble. Go out and buy an RV.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't blame these landlords that are dumping these rental properties.
It has time.
Your asset has never been more valuable. Yeah.
Yep, sir. That's excellent. So that's a lot of good tips for everybody. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're running around. Do you have any final thoughts or any final words to help everybody before we head out here until November?
It's been a crazy year, and it's been a crazy year specifically in our business, but just globally. But I will say that, as we feel day to day, maybe things getting a little bit normal. Obviously, this thing isn't going away. As we enter into this holiday season, let's start thinking about 2021. I know we keep saying it. Let's start thinking about it. Because hopefully, by that point, things will then change a little bit. So 2021 can your outlook on the world. Overall, 2020 has stunk. Everybody knows that. Let's make 2021 a better year. Let's buy a house, right?
It's been stressful. I don't know about stunk, but it's definitely been stressful, right? Like I know your numbers and my numbers are probably pretty similar. Like we have nothing to complain about in that regard, but yeah, it's been super stressful.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Just like you, I'm an in-person guy, so I'm away from I built my career on, really. So things are a little bit more electronic. I've had a couple in-person meetings lately where we're wearing masks and things of that sort. And I want to get back, come into my office, sit across from me. I think that's 6 feet, maybe. wear a
Tape down.
mask. We can at least still have eye contact, and that's important to me.
You know how many times I've smiled at somebody recently, and I'm like, God bless. They don't know that I'm smiling. Like I just don't. Every time you
It's
see
the
somebody in the
smile
grocery
lines on
store,
the
you want to smile, but you really can't because they don't know what you're doing.
I had recently I had somebody that I made eye contact with, and we both sort of recognized the other person, but we didn't want to take that leap because we weren't too sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's had that.
You text them while standing next to them, like, "Hey, is that you?
Is that you?"
Hey, yeah, speaking of events, we got our pumpkin thing coming up too. I'm gonna do a shameless plug. Can we shamelessly plug? I actually just picked them up today. We're gonna start running around some of our pumpkins, but even if you don't get one, because there's a limited number. I didn't know or think of this either. A lot of the farms are not doing pumpkins this year because they didn't plant the seed because they didn't know what was happening. So we have a limited number this year. We're gonna go run around and hand them out here in the next week or so. And after that, we're gonna have our usual pumpkin decorating contest. Be sure you just tag us at hashtag live local MD Halloween 20, which is a lot. I know it's a lot, but I mean, you'll see it everywhere. It's easier than you think it is. Live local,
copy and paste.
Live local MD, which is what we try to do. We're the Live local MD Halloween, and then 20 because it's 2020. We tried to use the same one as last year, but Bitly wouldn't let us do it, so we had to put the 20 on the end to make it a little more special. But we're doing 2 prizes this year: the pumpkins, and you can carve or paint or whatever is safest for you and your children. And then we're going to do, we call it door decorating, but door decorating is a generic term for like any kind of decorating, like you decorate your back deck or your kitchen. I don't know, whatever it is, as long as it looks cool, that'll be the other category as well. And we've got some cool kids prizes and we got some awesome adult prizes too. We started doing more adult prizes because let's face it, we all need a little more booze in our life this year. Yeah. So you know that adult prize doesn't have alcohol. It's just gonna be.
Love it.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate you and your time and all your good sage advice. And we're out here just trying to help people again every month, keeping them updated on how the market's gonna go. If you need anything, feel free to reach out to me. It's 410-708-8858 or anywhere on social media you can find me. The office, I have to give the office too. It's a legal thing. 410-286-9632. And then Tim?
Cell phone 443-624-0235. Call or text, send an email, tsisson@firsthome.com. Reach out.
And he's everywhere on social media too. So if you can't find him on social media, we both should be fired immediately.
There's not many Sissons. So really all you know is that name. You Google it and I think I'm the only one that shows up.
Just the famous ones.
Yeah.
Pa Dukes. Pa Dukes is up there. He's pretty famous. He's not a very social media type of guy, though, I don't think.
So call me Dave. So that'll tell you how much more he is than me.
All right, sir. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Billy.